No, it's not my fault. I'm telling you that this has got nothing to do with me. Well, a little to do with me. Yeah, I got some culpability in it. I'm getting a lot of heat from the boss. You know him, the executive producer of the show, of the channel. Okay, I got to get stuff greenlit through this one. And that's all there is to it, but it was not my fault, I swear. Hi, everybody. What's not my fault? We're going to find out in just a few minutes. You stay tuned. It's time for the Comics Talk with Reverend Sully here at your very own dojo for tactical and practical spirituality, the kind that makes a real difference in your day-to-day life. And also, we come together here on a Sunday for the live stream where I review all the new comic books that I've read this week. And I also show off all the comics that I bought this week. I don't have any comics to show you this week. I didn't buy anything from my local comic shop, my LCS, last week. Now, I was going to. Let's say hi to everyone in the chat real quick first. I want to say hi to Lane Kramer, who's out there. He was first. Can't take that away from him. We got Dwayne Muth out there. Hey, Dwayne, what's up? How you doing? We got Bone. How you doing? Good to see you. Nice. Lane Kramer picked up 2 Titans Beast Worlds in Detective Comics. We'll be talking about Beast World very shortly, sure. But yeah, I have no new comics to show you. No ubiquitous brown paper flat bag full of funnies. No. The only comic that I missed this week really was Junior Baker, the Righteous Faker, issue number 5 of 6. And, and it's funny too, because I go on a Wednesday, I get there about, say, 3:15 p.m. They've been open since 11 a.m. And so the 1 or 2 floppies that they had of this already sold out on a Wednesday but I got my ass covered. I do. I got a local comic book shop or two. Hey, if you need a local comic book shop, do what I did. So when I couldn't get my paws on a Junior Baker, the Righteous Faker, number 5 from Image Comics this week, who did I turn to? Who do you run to when you don't fall down? Who do you bring the problem off the ground? I got some hot chocolate. Yes, it's a sugar rush. I hit up Yul Carter of Fantastic Comics of Berkeley, California. His deets are in the description, and you are your very own mailbox away from having a local comic book shop. That's right. This is going to be like the 4th time I've shopped with Fantastic Comics, and he's got a short list of things that I'm looking for. And I'm happy to, have more than one local comic book shop, an entire continent away from the bay to the harbor. Ain't that nice? Yeah. So I got, another short list of comics for Yul Carter, to see if he's got. Well, hello there, Joven Behelic, and welcome. Good to see you. And I read Ghost Machine number 1. We'll talk about that. What's up? Hey, AL, good to see you. Nice. Everyone's coming in. Yes. Maybe we should have like a longer intro, like a 10-minute musical thing. I could just. No, that's not how we roll here. That's not the shape of the show. But it's good to see everyone out there. But I did read a lot of comics this week. If I read something in my digital pirate chest, I will be happy to buy it. Seriously, that's the kind of guy I am. I love going to my local comic book shop. I love going there every Wednesday. And I'm a big fan of spending my money there for patronage, I am buying all my supplies there. I got short boxes. See, I'm switching from long boxes to short boxes. We did that all last year. The only comic that AL got was Saturday Morning Cartoons Dungeons and Dragons. I didn't even see that in the shelf. I got part 1. I got issue 1. It was nice. This is my final long box. I've taken all my long boxes and I'm transferring their contents into short boxes, because the older I get, the heavier these long boxes get. Plus, they all need boards. They need new bags. You know, my collection needed some love. See, like this corner's blown out. It's got stains all over it. This box has done its job, and it needs to be retired. And in my romantic mind, I hope that this box, this corrugated cardboard, gets processed and recycled into paper that will once again be a comic book. And coming full circle, the circle of life. Oh, gee, no, let's just cut that out. So I get my boxes there. I get my, I need more supplies. So instead of getting my supplies through my online supply chain, you know what I mean? I got, polypropylene bags, one side acid-free boards. And I got some, these are comic book bags. These are supplies. You need supplies. I need them too. I got some Mylars. The Mylars finally came in. Those are expensive. They really are. Hey, Mark, what's up? Good to see you. Haha. Lane Kramer has a question. Hey, Eric, have you bought or read any DC Absolute editions? I am wondering, are they actually readable? I might be getting Absolute Planetary. Read the comic in floppy years ago. I read Planetary as well years ago. All 27 issues, or are there actually 30 issues of Planetary? That's what I believe. There are 30 issues of Planetary. Planetary goes up to issue 27. So this is what I do sometimes, just when I'm shooting the shit, and it's a good way to open the show. And I need to replenish some of these supplies. Take a polypropylene bag. You take a you see that's the glossy side and that's the matte side. So you want the glossy side resting against your funny book, which kind of doesn't matter for me because I like to double these things up. You know what I mean? And but yeah, see, I'm prepping some bags and boards. Now, I noticed this last year when I was doing the show, reboarding, reboxing, rebagging my entire collection. I noticed that all of my comics, I bagged them, but I didn't use any boards. And that was a big, that's a big thing because all of my comics, all of them suffer from spine roll and corners. And if they had only had a one-sided acid-free backing board, $14.99 for 100 from your local comic book shop, my back issues would be closer to a better resellable value. The closer they are to a 9.2, the closer they are to keeping their cover price, at least if they're just some kind of common issue, a non-key issue. You could be lucky to break even on that, Like I got these two books last year. The Overstreet guides, to the price guide and the grading guide. I mean, this is wonderful information. It's really, every comic collector should have these two books. You know what I mean? I think these are universal standards of our hobby. And I use one piece of plastic. I like, that's me. Yeah. Thank you, Lane Kramer. Smash that like button. But to finish answering your question, Mr. Kramer, I do not have any absolute editions. I, for one, prefer floppies over collections. Say like this: I'm on the hunt for a reader copy of Watchmen number 1 through 12. A lot of that has to do with just the floppy itself, the advertisements, handling that same comic book at 13 years old on the shelves of my LCS, my local comic book shop, and the original coloring. See, what you're getting today in the trade paperback, or even in the upcoming compact version, you're getting a remastered edition. That all the colors, it was recolored. I mean, sure. I mean, got the 4K treatment, I guess. But in my humble opinion, they got it right the first time. And there's a charm to it, and there is a noir quality to that coloring. It was a very curated color palette, and yeah, that's what I'm into. Yeah, so I not have any, and I hope you enjoy Planetary. It's 27 issues, but then there are 3 spin-off issues: Planetary JLA, Planetary, Planetary JLA, Terra Obscura, Planetary Batman, Night on Earth, and Planetary Authority. And there were like 3 one-offs, individual floppies, but often collected in the Night on Earth trade paperback, which I have. I wish I had the floppies. I only have about 3 issues of Planetary, but Planetary is amazing, especially the John Constantine pastiche, and the whole big bad being some kind of way. Don't spoil it for anyone. But I don't have any absolute copies. I mean, I have I have a Kirby omnibus, the Fourth World omnibus. It's literally 9.6 pounds, and it's so awkward to read. So I mean, there's a thing about the floppy. It's just so light, and it's so mobile. So it's weird, but I will occasionally get some trade paperbacks though. But I don't have any absolute editions yet. But you never know. There might be one that will just come and grab your attention. Let's get to some comic book reviews. I hope you brought a snack. I brought, what do we have today? I've got some hot chocolate, some Ghirardelli chocolate, and I got some Chips Ahoy's. This is the Wicked Pizza Party size edition. It's wicked huge. It's double jumbo king size, as we say here. From Boston Studios, which is down the street from the corner. Let's see. How many Marvel comics did I read this week? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 Marvel comics this week. And how many DCs? I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 DC comics I read this week. And plus the Ghost Machine that came out this week, but I read the review copy maybe about 2 weeks ago. And Bone makes cookies in the air fryer. AL has is pre-diabetic, so no cookies for you. And a buddy of mine is as well. He has these little sugar-free cinnamon hard candies. They're actually pretty darn good. And 30.5. I like that. They're really, see, that's what I like. That's what I'm here for, Mark McGrath. Huzzah! Yes. That's awesome. Yes. I mean, yeah. And there was such a delay between issues, issue 25 to 26 and then 26 to 27. That was like what we feel today waiting for our crowdfunders. It's like, oh my God, mail-in is 3 years late on God. Can I just get my book, please? Or all the, those people that waited so long for Wrecked Planet. I was a second chancer on that. So my wait was not as excruciating as your wait. It's true, and it helped mitigate that kind of animosity as well, in my humble opinion. So yeah, I mean, I think I waited just over 2 years for Wrecked Planet, maybe a little less than 2 years, around there. Yeah, that's about it. I know I've waited longer for Rainbow the Brute, but I'm okay with that because I'm okay with the quality. This is top-notch quality. I really that's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. But we're talking about Marvel comics right now. Spider-Woman Gang War number 3 wasn't that bad. Really. I mean, 1 and 2 were kind of like, but issue 3 was pretty good. I like looking at individual comic books. That's like one of my big things. And to be able to enjoy a single slice of just a comic book, 20 pages worth of story and art. That's it. I mean, I don't mind. I don't mind saying that. Like, hey, this issue of Spider-Woman wasn't all that bad. It was written by Steve Fox, and but it's story-wise because it has a lot of Julia Carpenter, who's the current Madam Web. So this is kind of like, is Jessica Drew also in the Madam Web movie with 50 Shades of Grey there, Dakota Johnson and Sydney Sweeney. Oh my God, I am such a dirty old man looking at that girl. Oh my gosh. AL, I went to Olive Garden for lunch today. I'm not sure I'm missing out, but to be honest, haven't been to one since the early. Yeah, I mean Olive Garden. It's like unlimited breadsticks, right? Unlimited salad bar or something. But yeah, Spider-Woman 3 wasn't that bad. I said it right here. And here's another one, because fuck you, Dan Slott. And with my friend Yule's favorite penciler, Mark Bagley, it's Superior Spider-Man number 3. And so yeah, it's Slott and Bagley, John Dillon inks, and it's all right. It's fun, it's enjoyable. Just because Dan Slott blocked me on Twitter because he's being a fucking oversensitive punk is like, and me burning his comic books out of, sheer brokenheartedness because I really liked this guy at one point. I'm a long time off and on Amazing Spider-Man reader. I mean, Dan Slott's been writing this book for better parts of 2 decades. Okay. There is no getting around that. And he's wrote some pretty darn good stuff too. And I really liked the original Superior Spider-Man. I thought that was a really interesting way to take the character. And but this issue number 3, it was cute. It was fun. It was fun. It was fine. For Mark Bagley art, I mean, sure. I mean, at least one thing, like or hate Mark Bagley, he's at least synonymous with the visual texture of a Spider-Man book. I mean, you could really I can really see it. He's up there with just like he has been doing Spider-Man for the better part of 2, maybe going on 3 decades. I mean, that leaves an imprint on your, just like, hey, that's all respect to you. Star Wars, Thrawn, Alliances, issue number 1, written from a source material, written a book from Timothy Zahn, the guy who invented Grand Admiral Thrawn, and it's been adapted to funny book format. And this Star Wars fans, do you want to buy a comic book? Do you want to feel like you having a real Star Wars adventure? Then try Thrawn Alliances issue number 1 and get back to me and say like, hey, I really like this. It's I think this is $6.99. This is $5.99, but it's got 30 pages of art and story. So it's pretty good. It's decent. I like everything about this book. It's this is finally some Star Wars made for me. Hey, George Lucas, we were just talking about Star Wars. Is the Star War. It's like poetry. It rhymes. And I like this. I like that there are actually a couple of Marvel Star Wars comic books out there that I can just kick back and enjoy here and there. It doesn't all have to be made for me. like Dr. Afra. I mean, that's not made for me, but neither is Cosmopolitan or Mademoiselle Magazine or Teen Vogue. You know, if I look at it like a newsstand, you know, hey, you know what? I was thinking about this earlier. What were the magazines, like literal magazine print publications, like floppies, you know, like should they share the newsstand? But what magazines did you have a subscription to when you were growing up? What, you know, I had a subscription to Scientific American in middle school. That was pretty bright for a projects kid. And I had a subscription to GQ and Rolling Stone magazine. Hey, what's up, James? Good to see you. And I agree. Dark Horse had some of the best Star Wars comics, but my heart kind of dwells in the 70s and 80s for that first run of Marvel books. And yeah, the novel is probably better. But as a, you know, as a floppy goes, you know, just like, hey, it's perfectly enjoyable. You know, it just, you know, if you like it, you know, oh, Starlog, Fangoria, and Film Treat, or it was Film Threat out back then. How long has Film Threat been going on? With you know, the Chris Gore thing, was that it, or is Film Treat another magazine? AL had a subscription to Amazing Spider-Man. Well, not me, but my cousin. But I got it for him so I could read it. It's yes, flexing the power of agency. What else? Okay, we have the Resurrection of Magneto #1 from the Fall of the House of X trade dress. And this cycle of, I think these ones are 4 issues, and written by Al Ewing, and it's sorry, I just got a mind farted there. It's part, this goes with X-Men Red, I believe, and the Mars Arakko stuff. And so Storm and Magneto went up to Mars to rule. And they also kind of promised themselves, hey, no more resurrections. That's not part of this culture. We're going to, like, you know, value life. And so Magneto got killed. So I guess Storm has this conundrum right now. She's like, I really need Magneto in order to win, or something like that. So this is just basically all Storm doing some kind of Homeric, like, trip through the undergloom. Like, she needs to find Magneto's soul. So she's doing this really kind of like mythical hero goes through hell. Isn't that myth? That's mythology. That's mythology. And so this is Storm has a mythological voyage that's also literal too. She apparently needs to resurrect Magneto. And yeah, I kind of blew through that issue. There's Power Pack Into the Storm #1, written by Wheezy Simonson. She's Richard, and June Brightman's doing the art too. So these are the co-creators of Power Pack from back in the day, back in the 80s. Power Pack Comics. Power Pack. You guessed it. I'm reading this from the wiki. All right. Power Pack is a superhero team consisting of 4 young siblings appearing in American comic books published by Marvel Comics. Created by writer Louise Simonson and artist June Brigman. They first appeared in their own series in 1984. I was 11 years old when this came out, and I was an avid X-Men reader too. And this is, you know, kind of bridged X-Men and downtown Manhattan superheroes a bit. It kind of bridged a little bit of mutant and superheroes, because an auxiliary member of Power Pack, a 5th member, the 5th Beatle of this bunch, was Franklin Richards as a small child, probably like 5-6 years old, you know, an OP like little kid. And let's see. Power Pack is the first team of preteen superheroes in the Marvel Universe. And yeah. And so the original creators have come back to do a nostalgia piece, which is cute. And it is cute because it's also, it's like many of these nostalgia grab titles, like Daredevil Black Armor, which we'll get to this week. Storm. There was another one. Like, they're out there. They're the Battle World by the Secret Wars Battle World. So this is set in like a quintessential age for the Power Pack kids. They're not older yet. They're older now. So this is set in some kind of like a go. And it's really whimsical too of this. Like, maybe Wheezy Simonson wrote this for her grandkids if they're still small children, because it has this, whimsical fairy tale quality to it. And it's kind of nice. There's Punisher 2 number, which David Cuppa posts, he on Twitter for whatever, and now I can't buy your book. Now I won't. Sorry. You don't care, Mr. Papoose. Peepose. Right? Peepose. Trying to exaggerate anything. Say the guy's name, right? Or I'll say the humans. And it's just Punisher. It's new Punisher. The mission remains the same. Yeah. Whatevs. I blit it. I looked at a comic book. Now here's one that this is a weekly. It's Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099. And it's emulating the Spider-Man, the famous Spider-Man that he's Amazing Spider-Man. He's trapped underneath all the rubble and he's pushing. That's like, I should know that one chapter verse. What is that, like Spider-Man 9 or something? But yeah, I mean, this was as comic books go, it's pretty novel and it's pretty usable. Have to know everything about Miguel or the characters or what's going on. They're really meant for a new reader to just pop in and enjoy. More number 6, now written by Ewing, and this is just some more okay, and it's just all blah blah blah. Yep, 24 pages of like blah blah blah, 18 pages of blah blah blah. At page 20 gets electric. Boogie, he likes that too. And nothing happened. Entire issue. Alex Ross cover. That is it. Indeed. Let's see what else this week. Immortal. Okay, number 4. Fucking this thing. Jonathan's writing it. Valero, she is. I don't want to say his name wrong. You know what I mean? That just say it right. Is it Geeky? Maybe it's Skeety. Say Skeety until someone corrects me. The info dump page, it takes, wow. It reads like stereo instructions. This is issue 4, I think. This is probably what people felt like watching Law initially. Season being like, with the end, nothing makes sense. Gods, GODS. Yeah, it did not, because this is like talky blah blah, and it's like, you know, heavy-handed, over looting this. And also it's weird because it gives me like, why am I like for Ultimate Spider-Man? Jonathan Hickman is just so consistent, especially like with something like Gods. And but then Daredevil Black Armor #3 by D.G. Chichester. It's got a penciler, it's got an inker. It's actually a really good issue for stand. Of the 3 issues I've read so far, and I think it's getting a 4th issue, and they'll wrap it up. And like, this is one of those nostalgia things, like Power Pack, made by one of the original creators of who were doing it at the time. D.G. Chichester wrote Daredevil in the early 1990s when he had Jack Batlin in the Black. So, but there's a lot of action in this comic book. There's a lot of fighting. There's a lot of there's a lot of really decent panels, sequential art, pacing, storytelling, superhero action. Any good? God knows I'm good. God knows I'm good. God may look the other way today, screaming, God knows I'm good. That's a David Bowie song. It's beautiful. It's well drawn. I get, and you got to give it to Hickman too, that, you know, he knows what he's doing. He can construct and arrange a good story. It's kind of like, but it misses with me. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it bores me. It's not for me. I don't know, you know, hopefully younger readers like this. I hope they love it. I hope this brings in Wynn and this new character. You know, he's kind of like the Sonny Crockett of magic mystic wheelers. That Sonny Crockett is a TV detective, Miami Vice. And he seems kind of like a ripoff of Doctor Strange too. And now he's in some kind of team up with Doctor Strange. So it's like looking at like, it's like he's like hanging out with his kid brother who looks a lot like him. It's like having think about having like Keanu Reeves and Adam Driver in the same scene, like, you know, something like that. And let's see, AL, the only Daredevil that AL has ever read was Frank Miller's Born Again. Well, there's lots of good Daredevil out there. You could try Guardian Devil by Kevin Smith with art by Joe Quesada, and I think Joe Quesada's pencils, and I think it's Jimmy Palmiotti on inks, from the Marvel Night days. That was some fucking seriously good Daredevil stories, and it spins right out of Born Again as well. I mean, things come back to haunt, like all the sins that Karen, you know, did, and that kind of come full circle. She tries to, you know, she's got a character arc, and she's very tragic. You know, I hope that they do something very tragic and dark with Karen in the new Daredevil show, because, I mean, remember in season 1 of Daredevil, she straight up murdered that guy, the Kingpin's, you know, minion there. She just wasted him. Boom. I mean, karmically, she's got to answer for that, right? Yeah, I'm just thinking. Canonically, she's been dead for 22 years. So is that spoiling if I say so? No, it's not, because yeah, Karen's been dead. She dies in the Guardian Devil by Kevin Smith. But there's such there should be for me, it's one of those visceral panels. It's a splash page, and it's Spidey and Daredevil on top of the Brooklyn Bridge. or is it the Verrazano Straits Bridge? I forget. It's the one where Gwen Stacy died. And it was a panel that had all the feels. And I got goosebumps and I got watery eyes. And Kevin Smith, did it. He was able to do it. Remember, that's pre-heart attack, Kevin Smith. And the Brian Bendis Marvel Knights stuff, it was so good. Because he also did Alias at the same time too, the Jessica Jones book on Marvel Max. So they sometimes shared the same panels because they were released the same month. So they were, they were parallel stories. There comes a time where Matt Murdock needs to hire Jessica Jones to be his bodyguard. And so it's great. They were synoptic. And it was a good time to be a Marvel fan. I know. I hear that He-Man comes full circle this season, so perhaps you should give the new He-Man a try. And the last Marvel book of this week that I got my paws on digitally was X-Force number 48. This is part of the Fall of the House of X, the post-Krakoa, X-Men on the run, and Beast is ending up being a big bad. And well, we have a Krakoan clone of Beast that only has a memory that's booted up to a certain heroic age of his, and the New Defenders, from that's like what the early 80s. So they unlock this Beast clone because they're like, the best way to get a Beast is to have a Beast after him. I mean, it's going to be hard enough fighting him, and it's like it ended up being really good. I really enjoyed the hell out of it. X-Force number 48. And Benjamin Percy wrote it, yeah. And he's pretty hit or miss with me. But this one was okay. And I like a good X-Men story. That's fine with me. What did we read for DC Comics this week? Well, I want a cookie first. I've been good. I deserve a cookie. Do I? Thank you, Pika. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Sorry about that. Here we go. Wet my whistle. We got Beast World, Titans Beast World Tour, Star City, number 1. And the, yeah, it was all right. It was written by Joshua Williamson mostly. And it's just some Green Arrow stuff in the middle of Beast World. And that's about it. Dwayne Muth says they have destroyed Henry McCoy over the years, in his opinion. In a way. Yeah, huh? My favorite, I liked Dark Beast, who came back from the Age of Apocalypse. And I always liked having that Beast around in the background in the X-Men Over story. Because he was always that's Hank McCoy. He's such a threat. But also the Dark Beast, who's infected with Sublime in Grant Morrison's new X-Men, especially Here Comes Tomorrow, when it's set in the future, and it's like the Dark Beast's endgame. And I just remembered this one touching line. He's like, I never thought I'd live this long with my asthma. And it's just like, oh, I grew up with asthma too. I mean, I've been there too. Like, I didn't ever, but yeah, it'd be nice to, I would want, like I keep saying, how would you fix the X-Men? I would fix the X-Men by using the Siege Perilous. Everyone goes to the Siege Perilous, and everyone gets that do-over, and everyone like wakes up in the mansion tomorrow, and they're all at a certain age, and they're all students at Xavier's Institute, and there's a danger room on Graymalkin Way, Graymalkin Lane, and I mean, bring it back to basics. Give everyone the grace of a second chance. And there was Titans Beast World number 5, which we had a really good Dick Grayson Nightwing fight. That was good. As a Dick Grayson fan, there was some really primo. You got some serious Dick action today in your Beast World. It was beastly, this Dick action. Good stuff though. Yeah, really satisfying. Dig yourself deeper. There's the Penguin number 6, which breaks from the narrative of what's been going on, showing us a flashback to retcon Oswald Cobblepot and the Batman's relationship in Batman's what appears to be like his year 2. I would fix the X-Men by having the real X-Men return from a pocket universe they were stuck in and kick the fake X-Men's ass. How was that? Was AL? Was that a good dramatic reading? I hope so. I hope I did you proud. It was all right. I mean, because this is a Tom King book, so it's always heedlessly cruel in some way. So. But it's a dark piece, and it's a gangster book. It's the Penguin. So I'm actually, of all the Tom King that I've read or not read and been insulted by him as a fan, I'm liking this Penguin run. I am. And his Wonder Woman run right now, I'm you know what? Not displeased. I already have Lane Kramer. Did I tell you? I accept purple now because I love telling this to, we don't get really political on this channel, but there's like, the whole culture war BS thing. It's like, so when you have blue people like that are like the good persons that like to block people on Twitter for adjacency and stuff like this comic book stuff, I like to tell them that all this modern purple that you see in the backgrounds of the comics, well, that's you blues finally accepting and working together with the reds, because blue and red together make purple. And I just read today in like the Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire by Edward Gibbon that purple was the color of royalty and martyrs. Like, oh, really? That's deep. That's history. What? I don't like this kind of talk. Don't be gross. It's bad enough that I've been single so long. You get a reputation like that, and no one's gonna want to be seen with me. Wonder Woman is pure trash. Yeah. King got a king. I mean, but it's pretty trash. I mean, that Daniel Sampere art is great. What were we saying, Mark? The Siege Perilous would have to be altered to work that way. When it was used before, the results were exactly. But maybe there's like, just maybe, there's always something you can write in there. Like maybe a divine intervention from Gene in the White Hot Room. Something like that. Just one last saving throw and everyone into the Siege Perilous, and it spits you out tomorrow and everything's in its right place. Everyone is who they were always supposed to be. I'm even saying like you can't ungay Bobby, because that's going to be a hate crime. You're going to be like sending him to that Christian reprogramming stuff, and like, I'm sorry, we have to take the L, and if we even consider it an L. Oh boy. And let's see what else came out. Okay, The Flash number 5 by Cy Spurrier with wonderful art, wonderful pencils by Mike Diodato Jr. Then it's all of this digital screen tone and garish colors just thrown on top of it. And Cy Spurrier is trying to be Grant Morrison here. And it's not that it's I'm a huge Flash fan. That's a Flash fact. And so as a Flash fan, this is like, it's okay. It's like when Grant Morrison was writing Flash, like back around Mark Waid, right before Jeff Johns. Grant Morrison got to write an arc of the Flash with Mark Miller. Technically, they're the both of them, but you know which parts are Miller and you know which parts are Grant. And so Grant got to do some, like, some trippy stuff, especially with Wally's power set. So what's going on here? It's kind of a mess. It'll all make sense in the end, I guess. Power Girl number 5. It's the pizza dog issue. I've been saying, what's the pizza dog issue? Let's look that up real quick. The pizza dog issue of Hawkeye. You know what I'm talking about? It's Hawkeye 2012 issue number 11. And it's Pizza Dog gets hired to solve a crime. And it's done with just like, it's told from the dog's point of view. And that's the way that he hears things. It's like all the humans sound like the Charlie Brown parents in a way. And that the animal itself thinks in pictograms or like, emojis. Or we used to call them Rebus puzzles back in the day. And and it kind of looks like airplane escape instructions, emergency. I know it's a joke, but this is literally like what Hawkeye was. Matt Fraction and David Aja's Hawkeye from 2012 was it the Marvel Now, or was that the all new, all different Marvel? But and they still make comic books that read like this. And so Hawkeye number 11, the pizza dog issue, Lucky the pizza dog, Clint Barton's dog. He's missing an eye. Clint saved him from the tracksuit mafia, and Lucky is called Lucky the pizza dog because, for obvious reasons, he loves pizza. And yeah, but hey, Hawkeye, I enjoyed the hell out of that back then. But you have all of these familiars and pets of superheroes. Like it's Jeff, the Jeff-verse. It's Alligator Loki. You have the super pets. It goes on and on. So it's I just feel like, they've been redoing this pizza dog issue ever since. And now it's Power Girl's turn with Streaky, the super cat. I still got that up there. So the Siege Perilous. Sorry about that, Mark. Cy Spurrier has Alan Less, Warren L. Less, Grant Less. I see what you did there. But yeah, it's told by Streaky, the super cat's point of view, and yeah, that's about it. It was the cat issue for cat people. Harley Quinn number 36. Usually I like kind of some of this goofball stuff, and this was just a bit much because it's like, it's garishly colored. It's got, hey, it's Teenie Howard and Sweeney Boo. And at least Sweeney Boo is doing all of the art in this. She's doing, pencils, inks, and all the coloring too. And it's multiversy, and so it's out there. It's gonzo, man. But what there is a really awesome backup feature. And the backup feature was really, really fun and really good. And then it ends, and it's last panel. It's Harley waking up in bed with Bud and Lou, the hyenas. She's fallen out of bed, and her dream is interrupted. And she's going like, "Oh, darn it. It always happens. My dream." That's Little Nemo in Slumberland. That's like one of the original Platinum Age comic strips. That's just that I loved that. That was really, really good. So this, Harley Quinn number 36 had a really good backup issue. Green Arrow number 8, written by Joshua Williamson, and with art by Phil Hester. Phil Hester did the Green Arrow with Kevin Smith. Talk about Kevin Smith's comics again. Kevin Smith has 2 really good comics run, in my humble opinion. One was Daredevil, Guardian Devil, with pencils by Joe Quesada, inks by Jimmy Palmiotti on Marvel Knights, and was over on DC Comics around the same time. He brought Green Arrow back from the dead when he was dead for a little while. And that's when his son, Connor Hawke, stepped up and became the legacy Green Arrow. You had Kyle Rayner, Green Lantern, Wally West, Flash. You had Connor Hawke, Green Arrow. So you had this next generation thing going on. And I think because they acknowledge that right in the beginning too, that like Canary's doing her own thing, getting her family back. And they mentioned that at the beginning of Star City World Tour, also written by Williamson this month. And that's a good question. Will Power Girl ever come back from Leigh Williams? I say yes. Yes. These characters endure. The creators do their damage, and then they leave. And Detective Comics 1081 by Ram V, or as Dwayne says, Ram Z. What the? And it's really interesting art. It's not for everyone, but I'll tell you, I like it. Let's see. Are you certain that? No, I don't think Tim Drake will come back. Are we talking about his sexuality? I mean, it would be a non-delusional parasocial hate crime if you were to ungay him. And I'm not even saying, just gee. I mean, yeah. I mean, that would be what, conversion theory, an allegory. I don't. Maybe the next crisis will reset these characters again. Who knows? Batman Brave and the Bold, number 9. There was a really good black and white backup story. It was by the guy who's doing the Bruno Redondo. Yeah. It's but it's like a year 1 tale. And it's really good. He uses a lot of it's in black and white, and he uses a lot of screen tone dots, for that whole retro comic booky look. And it becomes I think it becomes a distraction after a while, but it was a strong story. He wrote it and he drew it. It was pretty fun. And Amazon Attacks number 4. Yeah, I hope these sell to whomever that they're being made for. I know. I mean, geez, it's my counter to that is, I know it's unfair that it seems like such a culture war power play game that that the quote unquote good persons do it to watch us cringe and make us cry, because they use our fanboy tears to make their cups of coffee, and that the best way to rile up the bigots in the fandom is to race and gender and sexuality swap these long-term characters. It's just used as it's bait. I see it as complete bait. And because making new characters, it's not enough. It's like, it's quite literally postmodern, academic postmodern, radical, it's critical theory, and to go into pre-existing spaces and to make allegations and changes to suit, the critical theory, and not just, and it has nothing to do with like the enjoyment of the product. It has everything to do with having the satisfaction of changing it. And if they cry about it, it's sweeter for them. So my philosophy is, I'm not going to cry about it. Here you go. Have them. Yeah. You can't take that back, I guess. Pika Shades, hello. Congratulations. That's great. That's good news. Keep grinding. And it's football day today. There's footballing going on right now. I asked my stepdad, who do you want me to root for? Because I have no idea, and the Chiefs and the Ravens and the Lions and the Niners. I mean, should I root for the Niners, for Yule Carter? Should I vote in the underdogs, the Detroit Lions, who haven't been able to win anything? Based on that, if Jason Todd had lived, would Tim Drake have been created? If maybe, because I think the whole thing, Jason would have been forced to retire, and Bruce may have gotten that same recklessness that young Tim Drake identified, and approached him and said, "Hey, I figured out who you are." Because I read all those Lonely Places of Dying, those were good. That was middle school for me, going into high school. And it was, he was like, "I figured out who you are." But that was high school. And sorry, I was like, when was that? No, that was high school. And that, Batman needs Robin, because without Robin, you are so reckless, and you get people, you can get yourself hurt, but you're also going to get other people hurt. And so, it's part of it is that Batman needs Robin, because Robin keeps Batman in balance. I've always liked that. I've always liked Tim Drake as a character. And that's great. What else do we have for comic books today? Any more DC comic books? Amazon's Attack. That was it. Yeah, I mean, it's Josie Campbell, and who's taking over Shazam from Mark Waid and Dan Mora. So she'll, it's going to be, girls first on that comic book any second now. And well, hopefully it sells to those people, those humans that it's made for. Why not? Let's wish it luck. And that's it for comics this week. We have no new comic books that we bought this week. It was an odd week at the local comic book shop. I didn't buy a darn thing, but I do have some supplies that I do buy from my local comic book shop. And every time I make a box, I'm going to demo it on the show. Always make sure when you buy your box from your local comic book shop. See, I don't use my online supply chain, and I don't get my supplies from a big box store. I get them from my local comic book shop, because they need our patronage. Seriously. They are mom and pop brick and mortar shops. They are independent bookstores. The American dream in action. So to help keep our local comic book shops open, and buy your supplies there. I buy my book. I buy not just my books, but my boards, my bags, and my boxes. And yeah, and so yeah, let's make a box. Remember, it has a pictogram, a six-step pictogram on the box itself. Those are the instructions. Remember that they're cut and they're just left with a slight attachment. I would not advise using a sharp to separate that. Just use a little bit of use a little force, a little pounds per square inch between your thumb and your forefinger on your hand. All right, Lane, thank you so much for coming by. I'll see you later, alligator. Agreed. I agree. So yeah, just a little bit of, you can hear that? There you go, boom. Now it's free. You're free, Genie. Fold in the sides. Whoops. It's okay to make mistakes at this point. So we put on this one first. And then fold on the sides. And then pull that. And then drop that bottom. And there we go. That's a box. And then I got hot chocolate on my sweatshirt. Yep, I didn't have to rip anything. I didn't have to cut anything. All I had to do is fold, put tab A into slot B. And now I've got myself a short box. That's it. Dun, 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 dun. This cost $7.99 at my local comic book shop. That was so cool. Let's do that again. Remember, your short box or your long box, always double check it in the inside to make sure that the lid is intact. I'm going to give this some dimensionality. So yeah, they're cut, pre-cut, but they're just attached in a couple of places. It just needs a little bit. Just push. It just needs a little push. You don't need to cut anything. There you go. This first flap first. First flap first. Fold in the handles. Pull these things up. Make sure that those are for your handles. Then pull down the first flap first. Last. And now you have a bottom that's capable of holding maybe about 35 to 40 pounds. Just fold in the lid. And there we go. And now we have some comic book storage boxes. 2 of them. Because we have come all this way together. The last long box. We pretty much did these already. These are all old DC comics. With Multiversity by Grant Morrison. I love that. Some Superman Rebirth. DC Rebirth #1. Oh boy. the final issue of Hellblazer, issue number 300. The Brian Azzarello run of Hellblazer. Some sick stuff. We've got Action Comics number 1 through 18 plus 0. The Grant Morrison New 52 Origin of Superman. I actually like these comics a lot. Seven Soldiers, issue 0. I love Grant Morrison. Got Earth 1, New 52. Got some Huntress and Power Girl. Love Power Girl, and I love Huntress. I tried to be there for that comic book, but it just wasn't doing it. Batman Black and White. Love that anthology. This might all fit in one. Got some Action Comics. I got a 3D comic. It's a 3D comic book. Should put that with the rest of my 3D comics that are on my spinner rack. Batman Brave and the Bold. Hey, Scarecrow. Hello, how's it going? Welcome. How do I label them? Label the boxes? They're kind of like, they're currently in a bit of a free form, like DC Marvel. And then the newer stuff that I bought. Lots of Jeff Johns Teen Titans. Lots of Jeff Johns Action Comics. Oh, back in the day, when Jeff Johns, Grant Morrison. Yeah, more Jeff Johns. Teen Titans. Some Sean McKeever Teen Titans. Some Nightwing. Nice jock cover. Love that jock cover. Ain't that cool? Here we go. We got some Jeff Johns Superman. Some Jeff Loeb Superman Batman with Ed McGuinness. Some more Jeff Johns Action Comics. Lots of Jeff Johns. Look, video game ads. Yeah, it's kind of like now that it's over, now that maybe I can fit that in there. Let's see. I can. I know I can. Hey, Mike, how's it going? Good to see you. Cheers. Oh, I think it does fit. It does. So I have a spare box. That's empty. That's full. And that is my final long box. And this is going into recycling. You've done your job. I'm so proud of you, folks. Thank you for protecting my comics. Wow. Mission accomplished. I have reboxed, rebagged, and reboarded all my entire collection. I had about 8 long boxes, and it was a year-long project last year. I kind of took a break at the end. And that's today, since I didn't have any new comic books that I bought from the local comic book shop. It's a rainy day. It literally is a rainy day in Boston. It's sleeting out there. And that was the last long box. Yay. So that's all done. Awesome. Hooray me. Congratulations. Yeah, we did it. And thank you. And remember, I'm going to end the show with the blast of the past. Remember when we first started this show? We had the golden age of DC Comics, 365 days, where I take this well-loved hardcover coffee table book given to me about 2 decades ago by one of my best friends. This book has been surfing my coffee table for almost 20 years, and it has been a constant source of comic book shop style conversation, the kind that we have all the time here at our channel and our comic book show. And so I'm going to do what we used to do back in the day. We would open this book up to today's date. We would look at some comic book art of an antediluvian age. And then we would talk about comic books. And, you know, when we first started the show, we did a daily show and we were able to talk about comic books every day for the rest of the year by just following a simple recipe. We would just, this is a page a day book. And you open up to today's date and you just read and you enjoy and you share some time. I do, AL. I do. It was a goal and I accomplished it. And it was a small goal, or was it a mid-sized goal? It was a goal all the same. It needed to get done. It was a project. It was a chore. I could have done more with it. I could have like cataloged everything. I could have tried to grade everything. I definitely did not get to board and rebag every single one, but I did migrate the entire 8 long boxes into, I think, 3, 6, 9, 14. I'm looking at, I think, about 15 short boxes. And now I need to do a resorting. Now, like a grand resorting. Now comes the time where I'm going to weed out some stuff, grade them, and try to sell them. So maybe this is the year I make my eBay store. And I've saved all of my Gemini mailers from all of my crowdfunders just for this eventuality. So, you know, it's not about making money. It's more of just maybe just putting them back out in the circulation and let someone else love them. You know, you're free, Scarecrow. Is that it? No, you're free, Genie. So let's do it. Let's open this book up to today's date, which is January the 28th. Oh, boy. We're going to look at some comic book art of an antediluvian age. Remember, the golden age of DC Comics ran between 1938 and 1955. The Silver Age runs between 1956 and 1970. The Bronze Age, I'm a Bronze Age baby myself, runs between 1970 and 1984. And the Copper Age from 1984 until 1993. We've been in some catch-all nebulous modern age of comics since 1993. Where do I get that standard of definitions? I get them from the Overstreet Price Guide's glossary, of which I feel is an accepted standard for, you know, what we do here. So yeah, so these are from the golden age of DC Comics from 1938 to 1955. Sometimes there are problematic things in this book, and that's okay. And when we see them, we go through it together. We're not going to shy from them. So it's January the 28th. This is story and art by Joe Simon and Jack Kirby from Adventure Comics number 78, September of 1942. And I believe that Simon and Kirby had just fled Timely Comics, which was the ancient Marvel Comics. See, Marvel Comics used to be called Timely Comics back in the Golden Age. Then it was called Atlas Comics in the Silver, and you know, in the early Silver Age, and then became Marvel Comics as we know it today. And I believe that Simon and Kirby had jumped ship from Timely Comics over a dispute about, creator rights and money to go work over at their distinguished competition over at national publications, national periodical publications. And also they had All American Comics too, their sister print. And then they dovetailed those two into what we know as DC Comics today. I love the history of comic books. All right. The Sandman got his start in 1939 as somewhat an old-fashioned hero who wore a business suit and disguised his identity with a gas mask. The second version of the character, seen here, is closely identified with the powerhouse creative team of Joe Simon and Jack Kirby, but was actually established before they took over the feature. Artist Chad Grothkop worked with editor Whitney Ellsworth to create this second incarnation of Wesley Dodds. So this was not a design of Simon and Kirby. They also introduced Sandy Hawkins, sometimes called the Golden Boy. Kirby encouraged the idea of associating the Sandman with dreams, a concept that came to final fruition in his third incarnation, introduced in the 1990s by Neil Gaiman. Here we go. So this is from Adventure Comics, number 78, September of 1942. This looks like it's the title page on the inside of your comic book. So it's not an actual page from a comic book itself. It's a pitch. It's a photograph by Jeff Spear, and this is written and curated by Les Daniels and Chip Kidd. There's a link in the description to this book where you can get your own copy. It makes a great gift for a geek, I know, and it's going to look good on your coffee table as well. And this has been a really, really fun book. This is like battered, and it's well worn and got a lot of love. And and that is how we started the show last year. Actually 2 years ago. We did this every year. We did this every day. We just open up the page to today's date, and we talked about comic books just for a couple of minutes in our busy day, and it was nice, and it brought us all together. And I miss the daily show. I got to tell you that, but just life work balance. If I can get back to it, I definitely would. And if I do, I will let you know. And is there anything else going on? Is there anyone out there have anything that they want to talk about? Is there anything going on in the world of funny books that you feel that we need addressing? Like, I got very little to say about the crowdfunding drama. I've been watching all those guys for a few years now. It's okay for people to fight. It's what you do afterwards that matters most. If they're really friends, they'll, find a way to make up. And is that hampering me from ordering new stuff? I don't know. You think that crowdfunding comics is a fad? Or is it like here to stay as like a wave of the future? I'm not sure. I for the sake of the creators, I hope that it's not like a complete fad. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, daily YouTube content is a time-consuming grind, but it should never have felt like it was like a job or even to cause stress, because it's literally about my pastime and about my hobby, and it's a hobby about my hobby as well, which I love. It's another reason to love it, and I'm pre-boarding some bags, you know, because seriously, this is the end of the bag of boards, and I had put it on my list. It was like, okay, next time you're at the comic book shop, get a brick of boards. Yeah, the price point of a crowdfunded comic is a point of entry and will only grow to be more so. True. I mean, it's such a specialized market. I mean, it's a niche market. And you could probably already quantify that. Like, what do you have? Like, there are only 30,000 customers? Or is that lowballing it? You know, like there are only... There's got to be there's seriously got to be less than 100,000 of us though for crowdfunding. I mean, does that sound about right? Or sometimes I get mad at numbers. You know, there's like too many of them. Whoops. Awesome. Yeah, like this week I could have bought more. You know, if I wrote it down on my list in the first place, I would have. That's why I have a list. I would have remembered to have bought some boards this week, and that would have been nice to have spent just a little bit of money at my local comic book shop this week, which I didn't get to do. Well, because they didn't have what I wanted. All I wanted was Junior Baker, the Righteous Faker, but that's like issue number 5 of 6. And so this the way that stores order stuff, man. It's like, you know, they drop off. So you're lucky. They're probably lucky to have gotten 2 floppies of that. And, you know, and it just, boom, it was gone like that. And I got a copy. I got a copy waiting for me in Berkeley, California. Yule Carter of Fantastic Comics in Berkeley, California has one waiting for me. And I'm going to, you know, send them some more things like, you know, hey, you got this, you got that. You know, I asked him if he had Green Arrow number 7, the holiday cover. He does. Please, thank you. It's going to be, I like that. I wanted that. And now it's going to be mine, you know. And if you need a local comic book shop, well, then hit Yule up. Yeah, it is sad. It's where the current market has brought us, you know. That's an alarm. But thank you so very much for tuning in. I'm very grateful and very blessed that you're here at the Comics Talk with Reverend Sully, the dojo, your dojo for tactical and practical spirituality. Agree, Mark. Junior Baker deserves a wider audience. And I also, I was ignorant of the book that came before it. Butcher Baker, the Righteous Maker. And we look forward to that too. So that, you know, hey, there are good comic books out there. There really are. And you just have to find them, and maybe something will surprise you. So take a chance on something that, you know, I've taken a lot of chances on books that I never would have. And some of them have been, you know, a bust, you know, but some of them ended up being like The Sickness or The Sacrificers or Local Man or you know, Junior Baker, Righteous Faker, or Rare Flavors. You know, they're just, you know, and there are good big 2 superhero comics. They are out there. It is the publication industry. They think of it as an entire newsstand. So the same people that are bringing you Sports Illustrated are also bringing you a magazine like Mademoiselle or Teen Vogue. You know, they want to sell public, you know, it used to be ad space, you know, and but to sell the publication to as many people in the marketplace as you can. Then we end up with, Fire and Ice, Welcome to Smallville. Oh boy, there's a Marvel version of that too. In a way. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. This has been the weekly review show. Yeah, we're just prepping some bags here with some boards. So I only got a couple more boards left in this bag. I only got, is that it? Yep, that's it. We need new boards. So I'm going to buy a pack of 100 acid-free boards at my local comic book shop. It's $14.99. That's the going rate. I think I might need some more bags too. Oh, I know. I got no. You see that we got like one bag left in here, but I got an unopened bag here too. Make sure you always get the right size. I got some Silver Age bags by mistake because I didn't take the time to read them. I just grabbed the bag and ran. My bad. Live and learn. And see, yeah, these Silver Age bags. So I got some Silver Age boards for the Silver Age bags. Yeah, and yeah, there's one missing. Where did it go? We're on the case. Come on, Pika. I need Detective Pikachu stat. We're on the case. We're going to find this. I know exactly where it is. It's in a long box or a short box. Thank you so very much. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. Please like and subscribe and smash that like button on the way out. And thank you, everyone that tuned in today. And Pika Shade says he's getting to editing his next video at the earliest on Tuesday because tomorrow you need to clean up your old apartment following your move away from there. That's right. And hope the move was good for you. And thank you for being part of the show, AL. And thank you, everyone out there. And we will see you on Wednesday on new release day with the preview show. And what we'll be getting at the comic book shop, we'll find out this week at 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern. But we have some upcoming program changes going forward after next week. The Wednesday show will now premiere at 4 p.m. U.S. Eastern. Why? Well, there's some work stuff, and I like being out of work in order to catch the show. So, I don't want the show to premiere while I'm not able to be, part of the live chat, and that's really important. So, sorry for any inconvenience, and let me know in the comment section and everything if that doesn't work for you. But I mean, it's just part of my work schedule now. So after next week, the Wednesday show moves to 4 p.m. U.S. Eastern. So thank you. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. And we will see you again in those funny pages. Ciao. Bye-bye.